All right, everyone, welcome. Nate and Beth stopping on by, continuing our reviews of Friday the 13th, the series. In this case,
Season 2, Episode 20, Mesmer's Bauble. However you say
I don't
that.
think that's how. Bauble, maybe, something
Bauble?
like that, yeah.
Bauble?
So I think our guessing for this cursed item was nothing, wasn't it? Kind
I
of
don't
like
think
the,
we could think of
the
anything.
thing Michael Corleone offers that guy in Godfather 2. My answer is this nothing. So that was our guess for this episode. And before we begin, I want to not forget to mention, how could I forget to mention that as soon as this episode started, and you could see this woman singing on TV, I recognized her arms. I'm like, those look like Vanity's arms.
Her arms.
That looks like Vanity's arms from the late '80s, and sure enough, the camera went closer in. And what do you know? The woman singing on the TV in this episode is Vanity. So she actually.
Is she in the credits?
Well, yeah, remember in the opening credits it said guest starring Vanity.
Oh, I didn't know.
So this woman was right around this time just in Action Jackson, and I didn't want to say this until we started recording. You can see her topless in Action Jackson if anyone is interested. I saw Action Jackson probably
Sure
in
you had.
89 when it was pretty fresh on home video. So, and for those of you who don't know, this is also the woman before she went by the name of Vanity. She was one of the girls in Terror Train, but since she wasn't involved in the prank, she got to live. So she's also in Terror Train as well, and one of the few people who get to live. But anyway, 2 minutes in, maybe we'll start talking about the episode. I thought this was a hoot, largely, I guess. I mean, let's face it, I'm a hetero male. Largely due to, I guess, Vanity's participation in the movie. And before we forget to mention this, didn't this like pushed the envelope of on-screen television nudity? Like there was this one part, and me and Beth were like, oh. And Beth, I think, said like that was pretty close. Like they were both supposed to be naked. They go down on the ground, and it's like
Her
they
arms were covering just the
perfectly
right amount of cleavage.
nippage. But anyway, maybe I've talked enough. What's this episode
Oh, you can
about?
continue. Basically, it was kind of a fluke kind of episode where he didn't even realize what he had until it did something. So it starts out with this person who's, not the cutest, trying to work a record store, and he's obsessed with. Who's this? Who are we obsessed over?
Well, her character's not Vanity in the episode. It's was it Angelica?
Oh, of course, it's Angelica. Of course, you'd remember that. So
I think she was a real singer, and she's purported to be dead now, and they probably just used her real posters and images from her real whatever singing career.
okay, well, this gentleman, young man, is obsessed with this singer Angelica.
Played by Vanity.
There you go. And he just gets turned down and teased, and he's in the record store and trying to sell her records. And I guess at the end of an evening, he's probably walking the streets, whatever, and he witnesses a jewelry store robbery. Was it a jewelry store?
I think so. It might have been a pawn.
Might have been a pawn store.
A place that you can buy
Pawn shop?
jewelry at. Yeah, it was probably a pawn shop, maybe. So, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to briefly interject that I also want to mention that this is for people who might be youngins and stuff. This also shows something which has gone the way of the dodo by the name of a music store, which is really fun as well.
Records.
Record store, yeah, music store, right? Yeah, you could probably call it a record store. So it's kind of fun that this episode documents the
Well,
phenomenon.
this was also supposed to be in 1983.
No, this ain't 83.
This episode was their tour for 1983. Didn't you read that?
Read it where?
On his jacket. And
It said 89, I thought.
was it 89? It was 89. You're right. 80 something.
Sorry, but even in 89 there were record stores. Anyway, I'll shut up.
Okay, getting to the point of the actual episode. this young man who's not the prettiest witnesses a smash and grab at a jewelry store or pawn shop or whatever. People get away. He picks up this jewel, and someone comes from nowhere and says, "Okay, I got you now."
Citizens arrest some
Citizens
jogger.
arrest. He's like, I didn't do anything. He's like, I don't care. Cops are on their way, and just out of pure anger, he's like, why don't you just drop dead? And the jogger takes a few steps. You can hear the heartbeat getting faster, like a heart attack, and well, he drops dead. Then he goes home and he's got this crystal in his pocket, brings it out, and he sees it kind of glowing. He's like, what can you do? Can it fix my face? And then all of a sudden, his blemishes disappear.
Did he? I mean, he might have just mentioned it like in passing, like, "Oh, I wish my face could be fixed," or whatever he said.
What can this do? Can it fix my face? What
Oh, is
else
that
can
what
it
he
do?
said? Oh yeah, maybe.
What else can it do?
fix my
Can it
face?
fix my face? And it did. And he's like, make me beautiful. And he couldn't
It
because
doesn't
it already
do anything.
did the
And
wish.
since we're so far into season 2, I'm like, well, of course you got to kill someone else to get another wish
And
granted.
Speaking of kills, how many kills were there?
Oh well, including the guy himself, 5 deaths, 5 kills / deaths. One of them we couldn't tell for a while. We'll get into it towards the end. The really weird.
Well, I mean,
things in one-
the more he
unless you
kills,
wanna-
the closer he gets to Angelica. So he kills a stranger, some record promoter, her manager, and then here's the fun one, the merging kill.
Oh God, yeah, which
kind of weird.
we didn't know if it was a kill or what it was because we didn't know what happened to her. But I guess she disappeared. I don't know.
He and
Oh,
her
I'm
were
sorry.
together. It was the fun one.
Can I say something?
You're gonna say it anyway.
Well, you know, this guy is throughout the whole episode is obsessed with what's her name, Angelica, and maybe if it's not, it's something like that. I think that's it. So,
Angelica.
you know, as the episode progresses and more and more people die by the hands or the bauble of the Bauble,
Which
like,
was the first hypnosis tool used by a very famous magician.
That's a good detail.
Was in the beginning of the movie the episode.
So as the episode progresses, and he gets closer and closer to her, he's like, at one point, I want to be her lover. I think when he kills the guy,
Kills the manager.
He made him like slice his own face with the razor. That was great. There's a lot of parts in this episode where Beth was like, oh my God. That might be a little overdone, cringing a little bit.
A little bit.
And
very close shave.
Towards the end, he's like, I want to be her lover. And the scene that I thought was so goofy is when she's finally got her back at his apartment. She's like,
don't you want me?
do you want it? Or something like that. In Action Jackson, she said the line, wanna fuck? Oh. So on TV, she says, don't you want it? Or want me? Or
don't you want me?
Whatever.
Then they go down and they have the really risque boob shot.
Well, they're both
like no,
naked.
I want to be you.
Oh,
and they
God.
freaking do this.
So this episode would go over really well nowadays, that's all we'll say. But the guy, I was kind of like, it seemed like there was something wrong on his end. Like, well, what's his problem, brother? I'm sitting here laying there watching this, like, what's going on? Can't you... You know what? And it turns out, he's got more of a problem. He's so obsessed with her, he wants to be her. So then Beth, this might be one of the most grossed out Beth's been by this whole series so far. Beth was like, he's not gonna, is he? And it's like they begin to merge, and he merges right into her. And so she absorbs him.
He absorbs her, put it that way. Well, they merge. They get absorbed, and he becomes her. And then Jack is Jack Marshak. He's the main guy. He's like, yeah, so long as the person is in possession of the Bauble, he keeps his deepest desire. So all of a sudden, this guy is Angelica. She's doing her concert and can't find him in his apartment, and she's like, oh, she's safe, she's fine, she's on stage, everyone's here. And then Mickey looks at the costume, and of course, a woman finds out. Oh, she's wearing the jewelry. She's wearing what we want.
So she, which is really him, is performing on
Is
stage.
performing on stage.
And I made this what's it called comment? What if he can't sing? Because now he's her. What if he can't sing? And Beth said,
Well, he's her, so now she can sing, he can sing, but then
and I don't. That
Mickey
doesn't make
grabs
any
off
sense.
the bauble.
And Beth's
bauble.
like, oh no, they're not gonna.
They did.
Oh my God! And
His
what
voice
happens?
got all deep.
He's singing the song, yeah. Can you kiss me,
Yeah, pretty much. And the
baby? Undress me.
Okay, we're done.
Oh.
So then he starts to turn back
Oh my God.
into himself, and it was like a half him, half her, and they
And then he
fall
like
into a
falls.
stage light,
And
and
electrocutes to death. Why did he fall into it? Because he was just discombobulated.
well, if you were coming out of something that doesn't belong to you, what would you do?
Anywho, he ends up like so many characters in these episodes falling to his death. So
Well, the evil person has to be the killer, and so now poor Ryan's all devastated that his singer
we
friend
didn't
is.
mention that Ryan was all into Angelica as well and had 2 tickets to go see her, and he'll never get to see her sing. And
He kind of got traumatized,
yeah,
but you know,
Ryan does at the end of this episode what has happened before, which is like, gosh, he feels like they failed, and like how many people are we gonna let die? And Marshak had to give a little pep talk and say, we can only do our best, and
we don't know what this guy wanted. I don't think he really wanted until the very end.
he didn't know what he wanted. Yeah, okay.
So ratings.
Um,
I can almost guess yours, but I'll let you give yours.
oh, I'm interested to hear your guess. Let's have it.
Pretty sure it's close to a thumbs up.
It's total thumbs up
Yeah.
for Bauble's Mesner or whatever. Mesmer's Bauble.
Mesmer's Bauble.
Mostly, well, I mean a lot of because vanity and the risqueity, but
The risqueity.
I don't know. It felt like the good old days of the Friday the 13th
Yeah, it
series.
did feel.
It was paced really well, and
Not a lot of filler.
it never got boring for me.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to give it quite a full thumbs up. So I'm going to go a notch below a full thumb.
So a notch under a full thumb. Okay,
Yeah,
like
11.
10 or 11
We'll give it an 11.
on the clock. But
Yeah.
what was I going to say? Oh yeah, in closing, this she sings the same song that she sung in Action Jackson.
Okay.
Baby, undress me. Dit, dit, dit.
Okay,
Can
moving on to the
you-
next episode.
Okay, it's
It
under
will
Mesner's
be-
Bauble there. The next one we'll be reviewing next week is
Wedding in Black.
Wedding in Black. Wedding Dress. What's your guess?
I'm going to say The Bouquet.
Oh, okay. That's true. So it's a bouquet of fake flowers that last
I
forever?
don't know.
Plastic?
Plastic flowers and black roses.
I'm going to say wedding dress. What else is wedding related? I
Something
wouldn't
old,
know.
something new, something borrowed, something bloody. We'll find out.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, everyone.